Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Engineering Textbook. So in our previous video we have studied about 2x2 direction control valve. In that we have studied construction features with symbols and two conditions, normally open condition and normally closed condition. So in this video we will study about 3x2 DCV. So what does 3 and 2 means? 3 means the number of ports and 2 means the number of positions. Here is the symbol of 3x2 DCV. There are two boxes. This is one box and this is another box. These two boxes indicates number of positions and the green color indicates number of ports. So there are total number of 3 port 1, 2 and 3 and there are total number of 2 positions and number of ports are 3. So the port 1 indicate pressure port from which oil will enter into the DCV. Port 2 is the exhaust port from which oil will exit from DCV towards the oil tank. And the port 3 is the work port from which oil will transfer to the actuator or the cylinder. So as there are 3 ports and 2 positions, therefore it is known as 3x2 direction control valve. Now we will see the open and closed condition of DCV. So first see closed condition. Oil tank, pump, construction of DCV, cylinder. As we are studying about the 3x2 DCV, there are 3 ports. Port P, which is pressure port, port E, which is exhaust port, and port A, which is working port. So oil from the oil tank will passes through the pump. Pump will increase the pressure of oil and the oil further passes to port P. Now here the port P is blocked by the piston. Port P is blocked by the piston. So in this case the oil flow has stopped. Oil is not flowing in cylinder, but the oil which was already in cylinder is getting returned to the oil tank through port A and port E. So port A and port E is connected. That is, oil is returning to the oil tank, but oil is not entering to the cylinder. So as the inlet port is blocked, so it is known as normally closed condition because the inlet port has blocked and the exhaust port is open. That is, the oil is not entering. The oil is only returning to the oil tank. So this DCV is in closed condition. It is not operating. As we press the push button, the piston will move in downward direction and it opens the blockage of port P and it will block the port E. Now the oil from the oil tank will passes through the pump increase the pressure of oil and it will passes through the port P. Then port P will passes that oil, pressurized oil, to port A through the cylinder and cylinder will perform the useful work. Now here, as the return line is closed and the inlet line is open, therefore we can say that in this case 3x2 DCV is in open condition or in operating condition. So it is known as normally open condition because the inlet port is open and oil is flowing inside the cylinder. Here, the oil from the oil tank is passes through the pump. Pump increases the pressure of oil and passes to the port P. But the port P is in closed condition. It is blocked. It is not connected to any other port. So this condition, we can say the valve is in closed condition. Now, as we press the push button, the port P gets connected to port A. So the oil starts flowing through both the ports towards the cylinder. So as the oil is flowing, we can say that the valve is in open condition as port P and port A is connected to each other. Now the remaining oil from this cylinder is transferred towards the oil tank through port A and port E. So port A and port E are connected to each other, but there is no inlet of oil. There is only exit of oil. So this condition is also a closed condition. So normally open condition, we have seen exhaust port is blocked and inlet port is open and it is connected to point A and it is transferred to this cylinder. Therefore, in this case, the oil is flowing inside this cylinder. This is the symbol of normally open condition. So, by this position, we indicate that the port is normally open. Port P is connected to port A. Here, port P is connected to port A. Port P connected to port A. And port E is blocked. Port E is blocked. This was normally open condition. Now normally closed condition. In normally closed condition, port P is blocked and port E is open. So port A and E is connected to each other and oil is returning to the oil tank. Here is the symbol of it. Port A connected to port E. Port A connected to port E and port P is blocked. Port P is blocked here. So this was the symbolic and constructional explanation of 3x2 directional control valve. That's it for today. In next video, we will study about 4x2 direction control valve. Thank you.